Hey everyone, it's Clorinda here. I'm a HubSpot consultant and a marketing specialist. And in this video, I want to show you a HubSpot tutorial for any one of you who are looking to try out the free HubSpot CRM. And if you're like a small business owner or a startup, this is for you. So let's dive in straight away. Now, if you don't already have a HubSpot account, the first step would be to create a free account. So all you need to do is just go to Google, search HubSpot free CRM, click on the first thing you see in the Google search results, and it will take you or give you the following steps to create that account. So I've created one already. I've called it Clearing the Flows because in this case, I'm going to pretend that I am a yoga instructor, that I run, private yoga sessions and things like that because I love yoga. So I'm going to use this account to show you the free tools available. As you know, HubSpot is kind of a freemium SaaS product. So they have a free level, they've got paid tiers as well, and they get more expensive as you go on. So I'm just going to be showing you the free features today so you don't get too confused with what access you have and what you don't. So I'm going to go into our portal now. And before we start deep diving into all the features in HubSpot, the first thing that I think is really important to know is how HubSpot has their data set up. So I'm going to make it as simple as possible. And basically, HubSpot works with, at the very basic level, objects. So a contact in HubSpot is an object. A company record is an object. A deal is an object. There's a few other objects in HubSpot like tickets and products and so on. But as a small business owner, the most important ones you probably want to know about are the contacts, the companies, and the deals. Deals basically help you track your sales, and then contacts and company records are pretty straightforward. So objects like these basically are able to associate with one another, and then within each of these objects you also have what HubSpot calls properties, which you can store information under. So just as an example, let's say my name's Clorinda. I work for my company as the CEO of clarindaflows.com. Let's just use that as an example. So my contact record would be Clorinda. I would then have a separate company record called clarindaflows.com. I can associate my company record with my company because I work for the company. So Clorinda works for Clorinda Flows. Therefore, Clorinda's contact record is associated with the Clorinda Flows company record. Okay, so same thing with deals. Deals can be associated to both contacts and companies as well. So you will see these different types of records in HubSpot. It's really important to understand the difference between all of them now because you'll notice that the user interface or the way you see those records in HubSpot are in a very similar layout. So it's good to know, okay, this is a contact specifically, this is a company, and this is a deal. Now, the properties that I've mentioned within an object are things like first name, last name. So if it's contact record, you'll have information like I said, first name, last name, email address, maybe physical address, maybe phone number. There's a whole bunch of things you can store. You have the ability in HubSpot to create custom properties as well. So if a property in HubSpot doesn't exist and you want to create one, you can do so. On the company record, you normally have standard properties like company name, company domain name, company address, annual revenue, number of staff, all that kind of stuff. And on the deal side, it'll probably be more monetary stuff. So things like how much is the deal amount, what is the deal stage, and yeah, that kind of information. So now that you've got that clear, let's dive into HubSpot. So, okay, let's start with contacts. So as you can see, the different object tags can be found, contacts and companies ones can be found in the contacts bit, and the deals can be found under sales. Anything with the orange up arrow is actually a paid license feature. So that means we don't have access to these. If you're a small business, you probably don't need access to this, so you're all good on that front. But let's move into one of the objects for now. So I'm in a brand new portal. Every brand new portal comes with these two records to start off with. So these two are contact records. As a side note, Brian Halligan's actually one of the co-founders of HubSpot, but that is not his real email address. But let's have a look at a contact record. So you'll notice different types of records in HubSpot have the same layout. It's 3 columns. On the left side, you have information about the contact. In the middle, you have an activity feed. And on the right side, you have associations and a few other bits and pieces, which we won't have to worry too much about at this stage. So on the left side, under this About This Contact section, What you're seeing here are different types of contact properties. Now, these are just some of many properties that you can find against a contact record. And this can actually be customized to show you things that are more relevant to you, but this is what comes out of the box at the moment. So pretty basic stuff: email, phone number, contact owner, lifecycle stage, and so on. If you want to see all the properties, you can click view all properties and it will take you to all the properties. You can also check hide blank properties to see any property that currently does have a value against this. Let's go back to Brian. Okay, in the middle, you've got this activity feed here, which basically shows you like a chronological order of all the activity that has been tracked about this on this contact by HubSpot. So things like an email, a call log, a meeting that's been booked. If you've got the right integration set up, all of these things will be logged automatically for you. If you've got your tracking code set up properly on your website, or if you've got a HubSpot website, all the website activity will also be tracked. Meaning, if Brian has sent you an email, that gets logged here automatically. If Brian has called you and you've linked up your phone number, you can see that in HubSpot. If Brian has booked a meeting with you via your HubSpot meeting link, which is it works very similarly to how Calendly works, you will see that in the record. And you can use all this information to be able to sell better because you have collected data about that contact and you can do some research beforehand. Now, I say chronological order, meaning that the very last thing that you see at the end is usually the first thing that has ever been recorded about the contact. So in this case, this contact was created from an offline source. HubSpot can also tell if a contact has been created from, let's say, a paid social campaign, if it's come from a Google search, if it's come from a referral, they can track that information for you as long as you've got your tracking code installed properly. So really useful to know. But yeah, as you can see, this information can pile up fairly quickly. So you do have these filtering options here to track all that information. So there's quite a few things that HubSpot can track, as you can see here: list memberships, workflows. If they're interactive with your marketing emails, click them, open them. It all can be tracked in HubSpot. Then you've got a few other filtering options here. Down in the notes section, you can write internal notes, which your contacts will never be able to see. This is just for your own record. So if you've had a sales call or anything like that, you can save your notes down the middle here. Now, on the right side, you have association. So like I said, Brian, he's got a HubSpot email address, so he works for HubSpot. Therefore, he's associated with this HubSpot company record. We've put in a test deal as well, so you can see the other associations possible. But as an example, let's have a look at this company record. So you'll notice with company records, it's got 3 columns as well. On the left side, you've got information about the company. Now, the HubSpot company records have a bit of a superpower because it can actually scrape information from the internet based off the domain name and populate information about the company for you. So as long as they can't find the information online, they will try to pull that across to your company record so that you don't have to manually fill in all this information, which is really useful for sales once again. I will say the information is not always 100% accurate, so just keep that in mind, but they try to find something that's as accurate as possible. So in this case, we know that HubSpot's very rich. But yeah, same thing. The layout's the same, and you'll see the same thing happens for deals as well. It's 3 columns. You get the about information here. You get the what's happened to this contact or of this record here, and then you've got all the associations on the right side. So yeah, when you are managing your communications, you just need to make sure that you're linking up your platforms properly so you can track these properly. So make sure you've got your phone number linked up, your email address linked up, your calendar linked up in HubSpot, which is all free, by the way. And then you can get started. Okay, the only thing that's not free apparently is the linking of the phone number, which is fine. You can always still log manual calls. If I go to calls here, I can log a call manually if I wanted to. But the meeting links, so if I go to sales and meetings, this is where you can connect to your online calendar and set it up. So if you've used Calendly before, it works exactly the same way. And then, of course, with emails, you basically just link up your email address and you can send these off. Right, so this is, a contact record view. All right, let's move on. So in terms of viewing contacts in bulk, you always have these table views, and you have the same for companies as well. If I click on companies, you'll see that here. So this is basically a table of all the contacts that currently exist in your database. So at the moment, we just have 2. But as you can see, the table's split by properties. So contact properties in here. These headings can be filtered and edited. If you click on edit columns, you can actually rearrange what you want to see on there. So let's say you're wanting to look at your leads and you're trying to follow up with some salespeople. You're trying to follow up on some sales, and you just want to filter out so that you only want to see contacts that you need to reach out to. You can add the relevant properties into this table so you can filter them and sort them accordingly. As you can see, you can actually sort each column by like number or date or alphabetical order. And then you can just work through the list. So really useful. Another thing is you can set up filters as well. So let's say I only want to see customers. What I can potentially do is set up a filter whereby the lifecycle stage is any of customer. Obviously, you need to make sure your data is stored properly. But once you've done that, you can set up a filtered view, you can save it, and then it will be added to one of these tabs. Now, this is just a quick overview of HubSpot. If you are wanting more help with how to set HubSpot up, I do offer some of these services. But also, if you just have a quick question, just put a comment down in the video, and I'll be able to respond over there. Okie dokes. So same thing with companies, like I said, and you also have deals which comes in the form of a table and a Kanban board. So this is a table view. Just click this toggle here and there. Once again, sales can be found under sales and deals. If I move on to the table view, you can actually move deals from one stage to another if you've got a standard sales process, which is really useful. Once again, this is free. You can actually edit the sales pipeline to map stages that are relevant to you. So let's say I'm a yoga teacher. My kind of sales process might be, let's say, an online inquiry on my website, followed by, let's say I'm doing a private session with someone. Maybe they want to know my pricing information. So I might have a sales process stage that says pricing information sent. And then maybe from there, it might be a contract stage. So I've got a contract stage. And then when they've paid, I have a closed won stage. If they decided not to go through with it, I can move that deal to closed loss. So yeah, this is really useful for reporting purposes as well, which I'll talk about very briefly. There's a few other things here that could be useful to look at, but I just wanted to mention those are quite important to know. Now, if you have like a sales ad, calendar flows, or sales or support ad email, like a shared email inbox, you can also link that up in your inbox tool here and manage your conversations directly in HubSpot. Now, on the marketing side, these are the free tools available for anyone with the free HubSpot CRM. So you have the ads campaign platform where you can actually connect your LinkedIn, Google Ads, and Facebook and Instagram ad platforms to HubSpot and manage your ads directly in HubSpot. So this is a free feature, which is very good. All you need to do is connect your accounts. You can see all the performance metrics of those campaigns in here. You can manage those campaigns and set up like retargeting ads directly in HubSpot as well. Moving on, you've got email. So this is where you can send out your marketing email newsletters. If you currently use MailChimp and you want to link it to MailChimp, you can. But honestly, HubSpot has its own one and it's really great. If you are new to this, I'd just say I'm new to email. And then you can create your first email. So with the marketing email tool, it's really cool. You can create emails to be scheduled or sent out immediately. If you did want some basic automations to your email, so for example, I want to submit a form and then automate an email based on the context form submission, you would need to upgrade to the next license level, which is the starter level. The free version allows you to send off one-time emails like every month or as often as you need. If I click on create email, there are two types of emails you can create. So you've got the blog RSS, which basically allows allows HubSpot to send your contacts list an email every time you've published a new blog in HubSpot. But regular emails is where you would use for like your newsletters and just like general emails that you like to send out. The marketing email tool also has some cool metric reporting. So it will show you things like open rates, click-through rates, and it's also got a health tab where you can actually compare your email open and close rates with the HubSpot benchmarks. If you pick out an industry benchmark as well, so you can see here that HubSpot has identified my business very cleverly as health, wellness, and fitness, it will then measure my email metrics against the health, wellness, and fitness industry benchmarks, which is pretty cool. So, I want to do if I'm performing well in my industry, this is where you would do it. Now, next we have landing pages, which is really great if you're running things like social ad campaigns, or if you're posting something on social media and you want to take them to a landing page, you can build them in HubSpot. If you are new to marketing, landing pages are different from websites. Website pages are usually more permanent, and it basically informs your context about your business and the services you offer. Whereas landing pages usually just have one goal, which is to convert that lead for a specific purpose. So an example of a landing page would be, let's say I'm running an offer to provide yoga services, and I'm running a 20% off discount during Christmas. So the sole purpose of the landing page would be to offer that discount, whereas my website would generally share information about me, my experience, the services I offer, blah, blah, blah. So that's the main difference. Once again, more questions about that, feel free to drop a comment in there and I'll do my best to explain that in more detail. In terms of website pages, now if you already have a website and you're just looking for a CRM to attach to your website, HubSpot's great. All you need to do is make sure you're linking your tracking code to your website. If you want a tutorial on that, please let me know. I'll create a video for it. But if not, if you don't have a website and you want to set one up, HubSpot allows you to do that. It comes with amazing drag and drop templates. Hosting is 100% free, which is great. The only thing you'll need to pay for is your own domain, which is standard across any website you build. You do need to buy your own domain and connect it, but they can be as cheap as like $10 or £10 per year. So really affordable. But yeah, if you did want to build your website pages, let me know. I'll share details on how to do that as well. I just don't want to make this video too long. But yeah, in terms of marketing, you got these 4 things available. You can also publish blogs, which is great for SEO. So that's one of the options there. You've got design tools, which is more of a developer tool. So I wouldn't worry too much about that if you are brand new. And then you've got forms. So basically, this is where you would create the forms to attach to your website pages. These forms can be used on both HubSpot websites and external websites as well. So the forms fields are pulled from HubSpot properties. So the HubSpot first name property, last name property, they basically get pulled into your forms. Once you've created the forms, you can embed that on your website, and then the information collected from that form gets saved straight against that contact record. So yeah, really useful. Let's just have a look at, there's lots of different forms as you can see, but I'm just going to show you an example of what a form builder looks like. So let's say I just want a contact us form. This is a template. These are a few templates available, but you can create a blank one as well from scratch. And this is what it looks like. So you can just drag and drop the fields as you like. Within each of these fields, you can make them required or hidden. Ignore the logic bit, that's a paid feature. But once you've built the form, you can style it a little bit as well. You can make some automations at the end. So what happens after they submit the form? What lifecycle stage do you want to map them as? And if you want a video about lifecycle stages, let me know as well. I can create a video for that. HubSpot's lifecycle stages are very, very useful for reports. You can set up email notifications, which is great. And you've got a few other like submission settings you've got down here. And then on the third tab, you've got style and preview. This allows you to style your form. So it's really basic, but usually more than enough. So you can, let's say, set up the width. You can set up your colors, your button colors, and you can do a form test as well, just to see what it will look like for a specific contact that's submitting that form. Then you do have this automation feature, which, like I said, is an upgraded feature. It looks like actually with the free version, you can do 1 follow-up email for every form, which is amazing. I didn't know this was existing. But yeah, so you can actually send them an email, fully automated email, just one after someone submitted a form, which is great. But once you're done with this, all you need to do is publish the form, and then you can share this. You can embed this on your website. It's got a code. The good thing about this code is once you've added it to your website, if you did want to make any edits to your HubSpot form, those edits will automatically update on your website. You don't have to like re-add the code every single time. So very useful. Okay, so that's the forms. Let's move on to sales. So like I said, we've got the deals. A deal itself, the view of that record is the same. Like I said, there's 3 columns. You've got the about information, deal properties, activity information, and then object associations. You've got your sales pipeline, which can be edited to update, the different stages. You can add multiple sales pipelines if needed. You can set up filtered views, and you can set like probability percentages for reporting purposes as well, which basically means like how likely are you to close that deal based on what stage it's on. Now we've got tasks. So if you want to create tasks or recurring tasks for yourself to like follow up on a lead, as an example, this is where you would do that. If you're assigned a task and it's due, you can set it up to send you an email reminder whenever you've got a task due. But if you just wanted to look at all the tasks you had for the day, you can view them here. Sales documents. So let's say I'm a yoga instructor and I have sales brochures detailing all the private yoga sessions I offer. I can actually add those in here, and then I can link these in my emails that I send out to my leads for them to view. And these sales documents actually also allow me to track whether or not they've actually read the sales document, which is super useful. So yeah, if you have any of those documents, you can add them in there. Like I said, meeting links allows you to set up meeting links, sync it with your online calendar so that they can book a time with you. These can be used as personalized tokens in your sales email templates as well, meaning if you're using an email template from HubSpot, which you can find down here, you can actually automatically insert your meeting link in there to send out. So it's really easy for people to book meetings with you. I'm going to skip payments because that's a US feature. If you are someone from the US, you do have access to this, but I'm from the UK, so I don't. And then you've got the quotes too, which allows you to send out sales quotes for people to sign off on before you close the deal. Now, this is not specific to this is not very relevant for small businesses, to be honest, with tickets. If you have a big team of customer support and you get lots of incoming tickets, you would use this pipeline for that purpose. So I'm just going to skip past this one. And then this is also a paid feature. Okay, finally, we've got reports. So reports are super cool because HubSpot has a whole bunch of report templates. As you can see here, I can actually pick one of these dashboards, which consists of a pile of reports, which you can add to your dashboards list. So let's say I want a report on how I'm doing on my sales. I'm going to go and click on sales. It shows me what reports I'm creating. I'll go next, create the dashboard. If I go to that dashboard now, it will show me those reports. Now, you'll see there's no data in here because I've got a brand new CRM and there's literally, I haven't done anything except for closing a fake $1,000 deal. So that's why it's got that data in there. But as you can see, it pulls data directly from your CRM and it has the report straight there. So it's so easy to build them. If you did want to build reports, highly recommend going to the template library first. Now, those are the main things. Now, the next thing that's really useful to know about is the marketplaces tool. So if you have any external platforms that you're using to, let's say, track your send out invoices, get documents signed, manage projects, chances are you might find that a platform as in this marketplace that you can integrate with HubSpot, which is super cool. Now, to check if it does integrate, you can just search for the app. So let's say I use WhatsApp for business. You can search this up. Although you have these like WhatsApp integrations that you can set up. Xero is a really common one for invoicing. So there are some Xero integrations available, and these are all free as long as you have the corresponding accounts. So if you have a Xero account, you can then link it to HubSpot. Of course, within any of these platforms or integration, they have detailed documentation on what the integration can actually do. So I would recommend just reading through the documentation here just to make sure it's actually doing what you need it to do. Otherwise, you do need to find other ways of linking up your system. Cool. So that's the app marketplace. You can see there's lots of them, hundreds and hundreds. So have a browse. If you have any current platforms that you're using, you can use this. Finally, you've got the settings section, which is where you do set up all the settings for anything. So if you've got like employees you want to add to your portal, you can use users and teams. Integrations will take you to the marketplaces. Your preferences allows you to set up your personal profile information. So this is where you connect your email, your calendar, set up like your default times and dates availability and all that stuff. Down here is where you can edit your object properties, which I can do a separate video on because it's a bit of a deep dive as well. Object information, so you can edit like context specific stuff in here. Same thing with all the other objects that HubSpot has, but like I said, for your case, usually these three are the main ones you will be using. And then you've got a couple of tool settings down here, which is great. Okay, so yeah, I think that kind of like wraps up the tutorial bit, or I guess you could call it more of a demo really of how HubSpot works. Everything that I've mentioned, unless I've said it's paid, this is all accessible in the free account, which is pretty incredible. I mean, the fact that you can build a website, add a form, record information, and build reports of your sales for free is pretty amazing. So if you are looking around for CRM help and you're looking for options and you have a low budget, or you're just trying to like test different CRMs, HubSpot's a great one to use because, there's no risk apart from the risk of time. But if you wanted to learn how to use specific things, you've got people like me on YouTube helping you to explain how to do things. So feel free to send a comment or whatever if you like, and I'll do my best to create a video, or if it's a really simple answer, I'll just reply to your comment. Anyway, this is a video on HubSpot. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. But otherwise, I'll see you in the next video I create. Thanks.